everyone, Corinne McLeod here from eCommerce Nurse, and the question I'm going to answer today is, should I expand to Amazon Europe? That's a question I'm asked all the time, and the answer isn't a simple yes or no. It really depends on where you are at as a business and whether there is actual opportunity for your products in the European market. And so I'm just going to go through a couple of points that you should be considering if you are looking to expand into Europe. First of all, you need to decide on which marketplace. There's 8 different marketplaces in Europe. In actual fact, soon there's going to be 9. And so you need to decide whether you want to launch on all of them or if you start with 1 or 2. And before you even make that decision, you first off need to check there's actually demand for your product. So there's lots of different software out there that you can use, such as Helium 10 or Zonguru, that will highlight the opportunity for similar products being sold in that marketplace for you to identify whether there's enough demand to actually make that investment worthwhile. Once you understand there's actually demand for your product in a certain marketplace or marketplaces, you then want to just double check that that product category is not a restricted product category or prohibited. Now, if you're already seeing sales of products on those marketplaces already, chances are it's not prohibited, but it's always worth doing those checks. In terms of it being a restricted category, it could well be, even if there are products being sold within that marketplace, it might be that those specific sellers have been granted approval. So make sure you check all of that before going into those marketplaces and finding out all of a sudden that you can't sell your products, or you need to get approval. And approval always requires an element of verifying certain documents, which if you've already gone through the verification process of getting started on Amazon, you know that that's not as simple as it sounds. Although if you have all the right documents, there's no reason why Amazon shouldn't be approving you to sell those products within that marketplace. So once you've, there's demand, you know that you can sell those products, it's then about reviewing the competition and making sure that, one, it's not a saturated market, that there's no opportunity for you to sell. There are some product categories that are dominated by a couple of brands, and the chances of an unknown brand coming into that market might make it more challenging for you, or it might mean that that opportunity probably isn't worthwhile. It could be that it isn't such a saturated category. It might be a category that isn't so brand loyal, or there might not be any major brands within that category, really highlighting that opportunity. When looking at competition, also what you want to do is try and identify your USP. Why would a customer buy your product over any other competitor's product within that marketplace? And lastly, what you want to do is you just want to check that your brand, if you are a brand owner and have a brand name, that your brand translates well into that language. And what I mean by that is there are some words that have a different meaning in another language, and it might not be the positive meaning that you're expecting. I always give that example of the Vauxhall Nova. It's a car that was mainly for the UK market. It was going to be made for the European market, but Nova in Spanish, Nova, means doesn't move. And so, of course, you don't want to sell a car that means doesn't move. And so luckily that was checked before, from what I've read, before the product was actually introduced into the market, and it was called another name. And actually the brand name is known as Opel in Spain, and it was the Opel Corsa. So I always remember that as just a great example of how a brand doesn't translate well into a marketplace, and identifying that before selling into that country. Also, what you want to do is double check that your trademark hasn't been registered by another company, because of course you want to go in, you want to own that trademark, and so you want to make sure that that is available. So whether or not you should go into Europe, there's many other parts that we want to look into, such as operations as well, making sure that you're compliant legally. But first off, before you even go down the operations route, you want to identify whether or not there is opportunity. If you want to know more about how eCommerce Nurse can help you figure out whether there's that opportunity for you to expand in Europe, by all means, please get in touch. We also have a checklist for you to download as well within our website, and that will give you all those different pointers that I've discussed today for you to check as well as looking at the operations, and when it comes to actually selling on Amazon, what you need to be doing to really see that return on investment. So thanks everyone for listening. The next recording will be about operations when selling into Amazon Europe.